you guys. Okay, from a participation standpoint today, the only guys that'll be limited will be Rob Havenstein with his calf. He's tracking well. Kobe Durant with his shoulder, Laryl Murchison with his knee, and Puka Nacua with his knee. Everybody else will be full.
Still expect Rob to be back for you?
I do, yes.
Is Puka, is that just kind of a preventative?
It is, yeah. He's just banged up. You could see he was a little bit limited in terms of just some of his overall movement against Green Bay, and just the style at which he plays. I'll be interested to see if he's ever truly back, at full speed, but not full speed, but feeling like you don't have to be cognizant of taking care of him to get him to game day feeling as good as possible. So that's kind of the thought process there. Yes, yes.
How do the elements, ironically, we're just coming from the new facilities thing, but like the elements outside, how does that affect kind of what you're able to do today?
It really, everything there was really good, Jordan. So, there's always some definite limitations regardless of your overall health, but don't expect it to, limit our ability to operate the way that we were planning on anyways.
And then obviously you guys, you're in the gun a lot anyway, but in terms of what he's able to do, do you expect any limitation in terms of like the game planning element?
No, it's one of those deals that taking a snap doesn't affect, that specific injury. There are certain things, with your hands that's limited guys in previous, experiences that I've seen from quarterbacks. That won't be the case with him.
Seattle, what has surprised you most about how they've changed since you saw them in the opening?
Not a lot, because I have so much respect for, Coach Carroll's leadership, knowing that, you're very familiar with, how good they are with their personnel and their players. What a good job they do of just consistently getting better. I think one of the things I always respect is they consistently take steps. There's always an identity that they play with. And even though they might be doing a couple things here and there schematically a little bit different, defensively, offensively, and on special teams, there's a way and a style of play that comes to life on the tape, and it really starts to illustrate itself as you get throughout the year. And they seem like they always get better. If there's issues that come up, they always continue to solve them. They've got really good leadership from their players, and so there's a reason why they're 6-3 and have done an excellent job. And we know it's a great challenge. We're looking forward to it.
You saw Devon Witherspoon in his first regular season NFL. When you look at the tape, what sort of progression?
Yeah, I was glad he didn't play against us in the opener. He is a baller. He's really impressive. He's able to play. He's got great position versatility. You can see he's got a great concept trigger, plays with toughness. You see why he was picked where he was. And then, just the competitiveness, the nature at which he plays the game. And, I've been really impressed with him. And I've been really impressed with them as a whole. Similar to what Kurt was asking, you just see they've gotten better. And, I think that's the sign of a really good team. And he's a guy that's gotten better as he's accumulated experience. He can play outside, and he certainly has made a big presence at the nickel spot. Yeah, really, it was just when I kind of spoke to you guys the other day, Sarah, so that was the extent of, what we've seen from him, but just his demeanor, how quickly he's picked things up. I always think it's really important to watch the interaction and feel the rapport that exists between, your guys in the quarterback room. And Matthew does such a great job of leading that way, and Carson's got a lot of experience, and you could see it's been smooth so far, but in terms of actual football stuff, practice the other day was the only thing that we've been exposed to on the field, and then we'll get a chance to see how today's practice goes.
Coming out of the open date and basically at the halfway mark, does it feel like a new season to you?
I think it's a great opportunity to know that you got half the season ahead of you. And I think there's a lot of things, Gary, when you look at it that you want to be able to look at, all right, there was a lot of things that we can take and continue to be able to build on, and a lot of things that if you're not careful, you can say, well, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves because we're closer and we can do some things that are in alignment with getting right back to where we want to be if we just stay right in that moment. And so I would say this. I thought, kind of like I had mentioned to you guys, I think being refreshed, recharged, rejuvenated, being able to kind of just take a step back but get a little bit clearer picture of, hey, how do we want to move forward? How can we continue to positively push each other, handle each day the right way? And that's the approach that these guys have taken. I've really enjoyed working with this group, and I'm looking forward to attacking this week with them.
You touched on this before we break a little bit with Cooper. Obviously, the last two games you guys played were a little bit different.
Sure. I do, and I think when you look at it, you mentioned it. I mean, he had great production those first 2 games. Some of the things, too, that end up taking place where you say, okay, if there is going to be this amount of attention paid to a certain player, well, that's why you play with 11 guys and you got to make the other 4 eligibles come to life. But there's certainly some opportunities, some different things that we can do, and I think that's what we all wanted to be able to look at. All right, where are the things that we can do to help really put not only Cooper but all of our guys in favorable situations while, continuing to see them be able to progress. And so I think that's a case by case. I think you got to be able to really look at it. And in some of those situations, if there is that extra amount of attention, well, then that opens up opportunities. It's kind of similar to the conversations you talk about in terms of Aaron's attention that he gets defensively with the protections and how you try to figure out, all right, well, let's make sure we get him involved. And then where are those opportunities that other guys have to understand? You got to take advantage of that. And so it's kind of similar in that regard, even though different players, different sides of the ball. Go ahead.
With Kobe, do you expect him to be okay?
I'm hoping so. I think we're going to take it a day at a time. He had that little stinger and ended up playing, about 22, 23 snaps against Green Bay. That on the far sideline, kind of that toss crack play, he ended up, he kind of just felt it a little bit. If we feel like he gets back to a position where, all right, you're not going to be susceptible to an injury, you'll be in good shape, but it's kind of one of those deals similar to a soft tissue. Let's take it a day at a time. I'm optimistic, but I'm not 100% sure.
If he is okay, do you anticipate him taking over that other outside spot, understanding some of the praise that you guys said about him?
I think it's predicated on how the week goes. I think, we're continuing to work through those things. I think it's important for those young guys to be able to get opportunities to practice, and you want to make sure you're putting them in spots to be able to be successful. But hopefully he'll be able to practice tomorrow, and then we'll have a little bit more clarity. And he'll still be able to do some stuff today. It just won't be the amount of reps that we're accustomed to. Okay? Thanks, guys.